Hey Dolly friends, especially artists. This is Near and Far Reborn Dolls here. Um, I wanted to come on today and to alert my fellow artists in particular about a scam that's going around on Facebook. And I was a victim of this scam. Um, and so I want to just keep other people. And when I started looking around, it's one of those things that kind of stuff is available to find out about, and I just wanted to let you guys know about it. So if you're not an artist, you can skip over this video, but if you are an artist, please listen very, very carefully. So recently I put a doll on Facebook Marketplace, and I don't often do that. I don't really trust Facebook Marketplace particularly, but I did. And I almost immediately got an inquiry from someone who asked if the item was still available. I said yes, and she said, I want to pay you a Zelle. Now, Zelle is not an app I use very often. I don't find people use it very often because there are no seller protections or buyer protections. Most people choose PayPal because it's got those protections. But I said it's fine. I said I'm not as comfortable with that app as others, but I'm okay with it. So she said she sent the money, and I got a notice that was I should have said, okay, there's something wrong here already, because the I didn't get the money in my account, and the message was really weird. Like, the English was really weird. It was really hard to understand what they wanted. And so the information said that was supposedly from Zelle, that was that that the buyer had to put in an additional $300, and then I had to refund them that extra $300. Besides what they paid for the doll. And so it was like, this is really, really strange. And I looked at my bank account, the money wasn't there. I looked on my Zelle activity feed, it wasn't there. And she's like, please, 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 I just sent $600. I don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. And then she kept throwing all these different email addresses at me, right? We'll try this one. We'll try this one. We'll try this one. Like 5 of them, which is really odd. I don't know about you, but I have a work email and I have my personal email, perhaps a spouse's email, but I don't have like 5 emails. And so finally she said, well, if you're more comfortable with PayPal, why don't you send it to me through PayPal? But make sure you send it friends and family. This refund that she was talking about, this extra $300 that she'd paid in addition to the cost of the doll. And so, against my better judgment, I sent the refund. And I did end up getting that back, which was good. But the thing is, I was like hooked at that point, and I kept going. I should have just been like, okay, that's it. We're going to stop right there. If you really want this doll, then pay cash, right? Just pay cash. Because she said she was going to come to my house to pick it up. So she said she was local. And so why couldn't she have just grabbed cash? And it just started to just kind of, go around in my mind. This is not normal, right? And she was working really hard on her end to make sure that, she said, oh, it's my problem. It's not your problem. I have a business account. And I just kept going, there's just not right about this. Usually if a payment method doesn't work, somebody doesn't work this hard. Like, they'll come up with another payment method. And she was not talking about the doll either. She didn't want like more pictures of the doll. She didn't want to say how cute he was, and which are also just, I don't know, they're red flags. But when you're in the middle of this kind of a thing, even though those red flags happen, right? You still just want to be a trusting human being. And it's very much, I'm sure, what people who've been scammed and gotten cheap plastic dolls feel like. Like, there's a part of their head that goes, this can't be right, but yet you keep going. So anyway, I sent the $300 refund to her it finally went through with a totally different other email address. And she says, that's great. And then I got this message from Zelle that said, you need to upgrade to a business account and it's going to cost you $200. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's just not right. And then that's finally when it got into my brain, wait a minute. Because I'd actually looked this up prior to this. Zelle has a transaction limit, a daily transaction limit of $500. And I'm like, if I've already paid her that $300, if I pay this $200 additionally, that gets up to that $500 limit, and then she's going to leave with that money. She just is. And so finally, the voice of reason finally made it through, and I politely told her, I said, I'm sorry, I think this is a fraud. I think you're a scammer. I've already sent a message to my bank about canceling this transaction. Unfortunately, it was after like business hours, which again, I think probably is part of the scam, right? They don't want you to be able to just pick up and go to the bank and say, cancel this transaction. So I am going to go first thing tomorrow morning and make sure that that the transaction is canceled. She tried calling me after that. She's just, oh, hun, oh, sweetie, and all that, oh, I'm out $650. I'm like, no, you're not out $650. You are not. She never proved to me that money left her account or that Zelle was holding that money. She never offered that. I've never offered any proof of that. So if you are an artist who is selling in Facebook Marketplace, then please beware. If you want some more information, I just typed in Facebook Marketplace scam using Zelle. And I came across all sorts of that, and it was just classic. It was exactly like I experienced it. It was a woman. She seemed like a very nice person. They said her picture was on there and everything, and the scam was exactly what they said. So please beware on Facebook Marketplace. Please be very, very careful about scams and such on that website. And honestly, I know a lot of artists right now are really frustrated with PayPal because PayPal often sides with the buyer in these disputes. And they do things like hold money, for 21 days if you're a new customer or a new client. Yet they ask you to ship the doll, or if someone wants a refund, they give them the refund, but then they don't have to ship the doll back. And so a lot of people are really frustrated with PayPal. But the good thing about PayPal is there are some built-in buyer protections. And that's the reason that we use this service. It's the reason that we use the service as artists. I have had PayPal disputes that have sided in my favor a couple of times. So when artists say, well, it's never in the seller's favor. Yeah, it is. Just make sure that you have kept, the results of all your transactions. I had one person who had buyers who bought a doll for his girlfriend, and then he and his girlfriend broke up, and he wrote that he never that somebody else had hacked his account and he never intended to buy the doll. And yet I could show screenshots of all our Facebook conversations about how he was bugging me about when are you going to ship and when is this going to happen, and I'm buying it for my girlfriend and she's going to be really excited. So I had all those to show that no, it wasn't buyer's remorse, it wasn't buyer's regret, no, it wasn't somebody who hacked into your account. You knew exactly what you were doing. So Facebook does rule in our favor as artists and as sellers. Yes, they do tend to offer a little more buyer protection, but that's a really good thing, for buyers in the situation, because there is so much fraud when it comes to dolls. So I hate making this video. It's hard not to be a trusting person anymore, and of course, it does make you less trusting of people. We do know in our business as artists, we have lots of people who like and favor our dolls or want our dolls desperately and just can't afford them and want us to hold them or want us to be patient with them. And every time we do, we open ourselves up for something like this. So I may be out several $100s in lesson learned. Hopefully not. Excuse me. Hopefully I can get my bank on board with this. Yeah, I just wanted to make all of you artists aware out there. So TTFN, ta-ta for now.